Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics.
Drew, mate, there you are. It is time. We have reached the end.
We have indeed, mate. Season 8 is about to conclude, and it is an honour to be able to share this climax with you.
I mean, you pretty much achieved something there that rarely happens, Drew. You rendered me completely speechless. That was an interesting choice of phrasing, shall we say? And I just about managed to avoid spilling my beer.
Yeah, apologies, mate. Sorry, Sam, but it's true. I've had a right blast with you over the previous 14 weeks, and I'm really glad that we get to finish up with another brilliant highlights episode.
No, you are right, mate. Season 8 has been fantastic. And in today's show, we get to relive some of our favourite discussions and moments that have, well, obviously played a big part in making it so enjoyable.
Yeah, I've been really excited for this one, mate, and I don't want to wait anymore. So, can we get stuck in?
Of course we can, buddy. So, followers, fans, listeners and watchers, please join us for the best bits of Drewling Samantics Season 8, featuring
us.
Hello, my name is Sam.
My name is Drew.
And we are Drewling Samantics. Now, we realise that most of you already know that. Hopefully, a lot of you are returning listeners and watchers, and you've been with us either from the start or somewhere along the many, many episodes we've done in the past. If so, we thank you hugely and welcome back to Drewling Samantics.
And if you are new to us, well, we are so happy that you've joined us. Welcome to Drewling Samantics, Season 8.
Season 8.
Season 8, yeah.
Cannot believe we're on Season 8.
I can't believe it.
Can't believe we got through one season, let alone being at this point. But we are here, and as is obligatory, we do have a nice cold beer. So cheers, Drew. It's great to be back.
Cheers, Sam. Great to be
Cheers,
back.
all.
And here's to all of you. There we are. Lovely.
Yes, indeed.
why do people still pay for a TV license? I mean, I'm sure actually these days the numbers aren't as high as they always were. But if you were to compare it, and I know you can't compare because it's very different, but let's say you've got a Netflix subscription, which is £8 a month, I think, something along those lines.
$6.99, I think it is now. I pay,
and you've got millions, literally millions of movies, series, blah 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 on there. Fine. What's TV license now? £15 a month? Double the cost, roughly.
Yeah, it's about 100. Is it like 150 odd a year, something like that? Yeah. So yeah,
and that gives you essentially 3 or 4 channels.
Well, then there's all the digital channels as well, I suppose. So,
but only certain things come under the BBC's kind of control at that point, because Freeview is literally that, isn't it? Freeview. You can go out and buy a Freeview box, and as long as you're not watching BBC channels, as far as I'm aware,
you don't need a license.
For a license. So yeah, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. I obviously have a TV license because it's just something you always do, and of course I watch the BBC and I use those channels at times. But if I was sort of trying to create a bit of a debate, value for money, I'm not sure you technically are getting the same.
It's true. I mean, I suppose you could argue that along with your license fee, that pays for radio, news, all those things that are under that banner. I mean, I don't know. As we know that every now and again, the government starts going, is the BBC worth it? Should we be paying a license fee? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's always the same outcome. They do the rigmarole, but then it just comes back.
Then they just stick the license fee up and we all pay it. Yeah. It is an interesting, and as you said, it is a question almost without an answer. I suppose the answer is, we'll carry on paying it because we need to, and it is a legal requirement, But I don't know for how much longer a television license will be required or will be needed. I mean, I can't, in all these years of subscription TV, and you say it when you've got a company like Netflix, Amazon, or whatever, and they're turning out movies, programs, loads and loads and loads. They're buying stuff in. The independent channels buy stuff in. BBC buy stuff in. So why aren't we not paying, $6.99, which is what I pay for my Netflix a month for the BBC?
Yeah.
What is different? And that argument will go on. And then there's people like me that defend the BBC in a lot of instances. Yes, there's a lot wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with Netflix. There's a lot wrong with Amazon, blah.
Oh, God.
But I've always kind of defended it,
Or whatever. But yeah, and as I say, I have a TV license and I will continue to pay it because the BBC does create segments.
Yeah.
But I think it is a question as to value for money. I would hope that the BBC will continue because of what it does, and I think things like perhaps sport and big events that will almost always go on there will keep it running regardless. But I find this whole discussion interesting. It affects us in the business by opening opportunities, but also taking them away simultaneously. Yeah. It makes it highly competitive, but it definitely makes life interesting.
It certainly does.
The biggest battle that anyone has is picking and choosing between. Because if you were to go, right, well, I want to watch every football match, so you've got to have Sky Sports and BT and Amazon now because they spread football between those three. Then you go, well, also I want to watch stuff that comes up on the BBC. So that's another subscription you need there. Then you could just continually I want to watch movies. I haven't got time to go to cinema. So you add something like Sky Box Office or Virgin Box Office or whatever. The amount of money you'll end up paying to have everything available suddenly then makes you think, actually, I probably should have gone to the cinema in the first place. But there's never going to be a right or wrong answer.
No.
The debate will always be there. I think things will continue to almost push more towards on-demand for convenience and for finance sake.
Here I am, Sam. Sam, where are you, mate?
Mate, I'm here, but here might mean something a bit different.
What are you talking about?
Right. Are you ready?
Go on.
Ready? Guess where I am. 3, 2, 1.
You're back in Narnia.
I'm back in Narnia, mate. The wardrobe is behind me.
Brilliant. Now, that makes an awful lot of sense to you and me, but it might not to anyone else.
Well, no, interestingly enough, we're almost alienating multiple groups of people here. So
I think so.
Long-term listeners, or should I say long-term watchers of Drewling Samantics, those who have been watching the show for a long time on YouTube, will probably know what we're on about. Long-time listeners may be familiar with what we're talking about, but anyone new who's watching or anyone new who's listening, no idea. So we're sort of a third of people might have some sort of basically, this is a wardrobe. Oh, I say this. If you're listening, there's a wardrobe behind me, right? I'm really stuffing this up already, mate. I know this is not. You're sat there just laughing away at me.
I know, because you go on.
Essentially, I'm in digs. I'm away on tour at the moment, and it just so happens that the lovely lady who puts me up when I come to this area of the world, I've stayed here numerous times before when we've been recording. So the wardrobe that is behind me is familiar to Drew and familiar to some listeners and watchers, simply because it's been referred to in the past as Narnia. So yes, long story short, I'm back in Narnia, mate. Isn't it great?
But it's very interesting from my point of view to see how people are on a pedestal, and we love them one day. And because of a perceived right or wrong, or perceived wrong, whether they were found guilty or otherwise, they are suddenly gone. And they are, that word today, which I loathe, is cancelled. Oh, but they are pushed from that pedestal. And if someone who passed away recently and we didn't talk about for obvious reasons, but Rolf Harris, now he passed away, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. His family, he passed away 2 or 3 weeks before the announcement was made because they wanted to mourn a father, a husband or whatever, in their private way, which is interesting. Had that been known, because then he went through this whole thing of being vilified again for, he did something wrong and it was proven. It's not allegedly. There were, he did things, we don't need to go into what he did. But at one point, Rolf Harris was Mr. Saturday Night TV. He had undoubted talent. Yes. And Philip Schofield is a great television presenter, like or loathe him. He's very skillful at what he does. He's not always my cup of tea, but I cannot deny his skill at what he does. And all of a sudden, all that is thrown into doubt because of his personal life. I find it very interesting that should happen.
This will be familiar to you. I'm sure you will have seen it. A few years ago, a supermarket, and I am not going to specify, but a supermarket went viral for all the wrong reasons. They printed an advert.
With you now.
Yeah, you know where this is going. Basically saying, we've got this incredible opportunity for somebody to make a name for themselves, is kind of where they were going with it. But I actually found it because it was 5 or 6 years ago, I think, but it pops up sort of. I see it.
It does, yes.
And it does make. So I'm just going to quote a couple of bits and this is going somewhere because there is a response. So it was supermarket, insert name here, are looking for an artist to volunteer their skills. That was their headline of the advert. And it goes on to say, looking for a creative and ambitious artist to voluntarily refurbish our canteen. We want to make a comfortable area for our employees to escape to. Why not put your skills into action? We're giving you an opportunity to build your career, develop your reputation. We're looking for someone to bring their own style, to transform our canteen into an environment that allows creativity and inner peace. I'm enjoying this now. It's going to get out of hand, isn't it? The design should give employees an atmosphere to look forward to and emphasise on the relaxation that we want them to feel here in our store. No qualifications or experience required. We're simply intrigued and excited about the uniqueness you could offer us. And it finished up by saying, happy colleagues offer great service and continued success. Your work will contribute to our success. Why would you... Your work will contribute to our success.
Brilliant, yeah.
And then get your work recognised, share your gift, leave your mark doing what you love and do best. Now, I'm sure it was meant in a nice way. I'm sure it was like they were trying to sort of go, this is a positive thing, but that is essentially asking someone to work for free. And this is a multi-billion dollar pound company who have hundreds of stores.
Yeah.
They're asking. So the story there, like, obviously that upset a lot of people because that's basically going, well, we could afford to bring someone in, but we'd rather get it done for free, and we're going to hide that behind saying it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
And it links to what we do, because how often do you see a casting come up that says, unfortunately, we cannot pay, but this will be a great experience. I can't fucking pay my rent with experience.
No, I can't pay my rent with a good opportunity. Then I bring the money in.
My mortgage and electricity bill and blah, blah, I can't pay them in experiences. They like pounds. Hundreds of pounds, most of them. But anyway, so yeah, and it's starting to get a little bit better maybe, and these things like pay rises are helping. However, back to supermarket.
Is there a response?
There was a fantastic response in basically the same format, the font and the way it is set out. And the title of this one was, Artists are looking for a supermarket to volunteer their skills. Artists are looking for a well-stocked supermarket to voluntarily restock our kitchens. Gain experience in the food industry while satisfying our need to feed ourselves and live comfortably. We're looking for a diverse supermarket. We encourage suppliers of food from all ethnic cuisines. So the supermarket said, we don't mind what ethnicity. We encourage diversity. Doesn't matter if still asking for someone for free. So obviously this has taken every point they've made and turned it back. Why not put your skills into action? Artists are giving you one opportunity to build your customer base, develop your reputation through the creative community. We're looking for you to bring your own style to transform our kitchen shelves into an environment that allows positivity and inner peace through the scopes of being able to feed ourselves. I'm just trying. The new delivery should give artists an atmosphere to look forward to and emphasise on the idea that they don't have to work on an empty stomach. No qualifications or experience required. We're simply intrigued and excited about the free stuff you can give us.
Oh, that's brilliant.
As freelancers, artists are proud to represent a diverse skill set with which you can benefit from. Happy artists offer great works and continued success. Get your brand recognised. Share your goods with the heart of creativity. Leave your mark by doing what you love and do best. So, a point well made. Like,
Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, really. And as I say, I'm not going to name because it was a little while ago, and I believe they did apologise. But the point I'm making is this pops up every now and again. It makes you laugh because of the response, but it shouldn't make you laugh because it's a reality.
There was a time when the whole idea of weekends was sacrosanct. Shops weren't open, and then theatres went, do you know what? We're gonna close on Tuesday and open on a Sunday, or not do shows on a Monday. And I think that was all done to take advantage of holiday crowds and tourist crowds in London, and people get time off at the weekend. They can see a show, but they're not necessarily during what is euphemistically known as a school week. I can't go to the theatre on Monday night or Wednesday, but I could go on Sunday, but it's shut. The theatres went, hang on a minute,
we can fix that.
We can fix that.
We have some amazing people set to come on the season. I mean, we've always been incredibly lucky that we've had some amazing, amazing guests. And I have to say, Season 8 is no exception to that.
No.
There are some incredible people queued up. A couple in particular I'm really excited because of the nature of what they do. Something a bit different for us. And certainly for listeners and viewers won't have perhaps gotten to hear about the careers of these people before, the things that these people do.
No, we've got some other sides of the industry. We're going to get people to represent other areas, other facets of the industry. So, they're great guests. It's going to be good fun, and we might even learn something. I mean, you're never too old to learn, Sam. Don't you dare.
Old dog and new tricks.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Yeah, I still can't fetch a stick, but there you go. I'm working on it. If I get out, maybe I'll learn to retrieve.
Yeah. If we're let out into the open, there's going to be this sort of like underlying thing where it's going. It's not that they don't want to go out. Like, no one's letting them out. Who would allow these people out into the open world? We do exist. We are allowed out in public. No tag on my ankle or anything.
No, I'm not lifting mine because it's a long way. I'm getting old.
We've digressed.
Drifted off.
Just a tad. So lots of new guests this season, lots and lots of new content. We're going to continue to bring as much news as possible from the industry, the fascinating, interesting things. We'll also obviously address anything else that the government deems appropriate that's going to confuse and make life hard, or perhaps even help us. We can but imagine that. You see that? There's a pig flying. Right, one episode in, new season. We've already upset the government. We've made everyone upset because we're talking about death. Everything is normal, isn't it? Anyone new? We just talk rubbish. I mean, if you can put up with sort of like half an hour, 40 minutes of two blokes, one getting on and one past it, just talking absolute crap for a period of time, then join us every week.
Way of a time. Yeah. We've done this for 7 seasons.
Go back and listen to all that. We've got 7 seasons of this shit. It's unbelievable. No, that's unfair because every other episode pretty much is a guest, so that's good stuff.
Yeah, some of those are really worth listening.
We've got 3.5 seasons worth of this shit.
Next week is going to be really good because we'll have a guest on. So it will get better. I promise. Next week is worth listening. Don't switch off now.
No. As if people haven't already.
As if people dare.
It's just you, me, and probably your mum listening.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And even she's bored.
How have you been? Busy? Well, I know you've been busy, but how has being busy been?
Busy's been very nice, thank you, mate. Yeah, I've had a lovely little bit of filming this week. and about which I'm not allowed to say anything. But a lovely bit of filming. The only thing I can say is that we have said this in the past, that we were here to say that this isn't a glamorous business. We are, we're hard at work, and you're hard at work in Norfolk, and we'll hear more about that in a minute. But I just like to say that if anybody thinks that filming sounds glamorous, I had to be up at 3:00 in the morning for, little glamorous bit coming up, a car picking me up to take to set to get into makeup. That's all I'd like to say is, anybody else, yesterday was having a nice lie-in. I was up at the crack of sparrows,
You were up at Sparrow's crack? What?
up at Sparrow's crack. Yeah. Mate, there's no one around. I'll tell you now, if you want to drive on the North Circular in London, at any time of the day, 4:15 is a bloody good time to do it. There's no one around, and quite rightly so.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think that's probably because all those people that are not there, mate, are far more sensible than those that are there. So,
yes.
But yeah, and it's not glamorous. I had to get up early, he says, being picked up in his chauffeur-driven vehicle. Yeah. We're supposed to be the working class actors here. We're supposed to be the voice of the little man. Well, you are a voice in a little, but I mean,
I am, mate. I mean, it's once in a blue moon. But let's face it, there was no other way of getting there because at 4:15 in the morning, there's no other way to traffic. There's nowhere to park, and the tubes are on strike. So what can I tell you?
That's very true. And I will just add for those of you that were either watching or listening, that was a legitimate call time for other people as well. It wasn't just because Drew needs more makeup than most. Not everyone else didn't start at 9:00, and they just got him in because they're like, oh shit, we need to get the trowels and the Ronseal out.
I'm not saying anything, mate. I'm not rising to the bait.
I'm defending. I'm saying this is not the.
Thank you. I haven't yet watched any of it. That's going to be a put my feet up after a long week's work and start watching the new series of The Witcher with one of my favourite actors, Henry Cavill. I think he's great. But it's his last season of his third season, so it'll be his last season. So.
I don't know what he's done to upset anyone, but he's last season of Witcher. He's not Superman anymore.
I know.
I think he's brilliant. Absolutely.
Is he going to be James Bond? Are they clearing the decks for him to be James Bond?
Doors. I said that he just looks like a Bond, doesn't he?
He'd be a great Bond. Fantastic. I think he's kind of going back to the twinkle in the eye kind of Bond. I think it harks back to the Sean Connerys and Roger Moores.
I was going to say, is he comparable? Because Sean Connery's definitely did, God rest him, some sort of charactery things and stuff like that, and those edgy bits, but then the suave stuff, and I can see Henry Cavill doing it. He
would be one of my favourites. I think if he did, I would go back to the franchise, because I switched off a bit with Daniel Craig, I have to admit. But I like Henry Cavill. I think he's got that twinkle and wit about him.
I tell you what, if it's not me, I'm supporting Henry.
Mate, if it's not you, I'm going with Henry.
There we go. So, it's decided then. So the Broccoli Empire and the producers and the team behind James Bond these days, we've made the decision. I'm waiting by the phone, but I'll understand if you go Henry Cavill because he's perhaps a tad more well-known than me.
I'll get on the phone and start the campaign for you, mate. To
be fair, we are in a cost of living crisis, and I can guarantee I'll charge less than Henry Cavill.
Careful what you say, mate. Don't sell yourself short.
I'm not, but I'm pretty sure I can charge less than Henry Cavill. Oh, dear. Mate, I should so be James Bond. I'm literally made for the role.
I wouldn't disagree, Sam. As I said, I am fully in support. I'll be the first to congratulate you if and when you realise your destiny.
Thanks, mate. But for now, though, I'm going to stick to beer rather than martinis, be that shaken or stirred.
Are you indeed? Well, I'm assuming that is a subtle hint that you may be running low and you need to address the situation. Yeah, nothing gets past you, does it, Drew? No, so come on then, top up time. Right, all sorted now, Sam? I certainly am, mate. I love a cold beer, and I don't think there's anything that could possibly stop me enjoying this one. Famous last words.
Oh! Right, lovely. I mean, if you said to me, make a list of all the things you want to see today, with the greatest respect, and I love you, mate, but that would have been pretty low down my list. I've just been, for anyone not on YouTube, you've lucked out today. Those of you joining us on YouTube, you are probably just as horrified as I am that we've just been greeted by Drew's crotch.
Well, you say it's low down on your list. It's fairly low down on me as well, mate. But personally,
that's saying something, because as it goes, you're fairly low down anyway. So
everything's low down. No, I was just adjusting my lighting, and I hadn't realised we'd logged on. So you caught me adjusting.
Well, I guess in a way, I say it's not what I wanted to see. But had you not been doing that, I wouldn't have been able to see you at all.
I would have been slightly dull, mate. You know,
yes,
and we don't want that. No.
But anyway, so what I must say, mate, that this is a far greater view than the one I was subjected to in the a few minutes ago. So cheers, nice to see you, mate.
Cheers, mate. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see this part of you.
Yes.
But
Filling the frame in a far nicer way. There we go.
And I hate to go back to it because we try not to talk about it, but do you think perhaps our unwelcome guest of a few years ago has had a big effect on that as well?
I think so, Sam. I think it was a turning point in people's. I mean, I know people that now and before didn't watch terribly much terrestrial TV. You know, and a lot of. I mean, people said, "Oh, there's so much to watch on there now." Well, there isn't. There's an awful lot of channels just repeating what other channels. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I know one of your favourite shows, and one of my favourite shows is CSI. There's about 5 channels repeating episodes of CSI over and over and over again. You know, and you think, what are they doing that for? Well, eventually, you know, like one of the channels, like Dave, who was repeating comedy shows. Now they've earned enough money now to produce their own shows.
Yes.
Good. So that's kind of what Netflix have done. They you know, and Amazon, all those streaming services. Other streaming services are available, but they've now made enough money that they're producing their own stuff. And we said at the time, you know, we were all sitting there wanting to be entertained. You know, we rinsed, you know, those streaming services dry. So I think then people are now going, make more stuff for us. I love sitting here, the convenience of just, you know, wherever I am, stick my laptop on, stick my tablet on, stick my phone on, boom, there I am. I mean, I travel on the tube a lot, and I see people in the morning sitting there, and they've got it there on their phone, watching stuff. Yeah. And you think, yeah, where did that come from? You know, instead of playing, you know, Candy Crush, people are now watching, you know, whatever is on Netflix or whatever, you know. So you think that is a change. And I think that did happen during lockdown, is because people needed anything. And we said how important that was. A friend of mine, exactly that same thing. They were penciled for a job. They never heard anything. And it was, you know, a year or so ago before casting directors and people had to release you from jobs, which they do now. And that's very handy. But, you know, he went, oh, I'm going on holiday. Went on holiday, got a call from his agent. He's away with his partner, and got a call from his agent, said, so you're filming next week? And he went, and he was abroad on holiday, somewhere sunny. And he went, can you get back? And he went, yeah, okay. So he literally flew home. I think it was somewhere nice and sunny on, you know, on the coast. Flew home. His partner stayed out there on her tods, you know, having a holiday. He flew home, filmed for 2 days, and then flew back.
Wow.
And it was like, and he went, I've made no money out of this job because I've spent it all on going backwards and forwards. If I'd have cancelled the holiday and done the job, that would have cancelled it out as well, because I would have lost all that money on the holiday. So he said it was better just to fly back, do the work for a couple of days, keep everyone happy. My wife sat out there by the pool in the sunshine having a lovely time.
Yeah.
He said, and he said, that was it. He said, I got back on holiday. He said, I got back from doing the job. And he said, and for the rest of the holiday, it poured but rained.
But you've also missed a bit in there where if he'd then said, no, I can't get back, he'd almost certainly be blacklisted by that company for letting him down.
Oh, they'd have gone, what are you doing? You said you were available at one point.
Yep.
We penciled you. You buggered off. You were on pencil.
Yeah.
You can't, But he went, no. So he did. He just went, he said, I've got to do it,
Yeah, you got
his agent was going.
And then there is a perfect example of the sort of dealing with the repercussions. Obviously, it's a nice problem to have that you're on holiday and need to be somewhere to work. I'd rather have that issue than the opposite, so to speak.
How many words can you think of, when you see these adverts, like for different words for not being paid terribly much? I mean, there's remuneration. Sometimes you get payments. Stipend is another one. Offering.
Yeah.
Expenses. There are so many words. Contribution. Yes. It's like, really? It just means you're not paying very much, doesn't it? It's whenever I see a word that doesn't say, payment or salary or fee, I go, right. The stipend is negotiable. The stipend is bloody pathetic, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Or the you often get offered an IMDb credit.
Yes, that's the other one. Yeah.
Go, that's great. You're like, yeah, but you can add those yourself. If you
can add those yourself, yeah. Also, costs you £20 a month to access them. So
yeah.
It's like.
We've had numerous comedians on here, some very talented people, and we've talked about the whole, if you say something that will either offend certain people or certain people don't agree with, are you in the wrong? Well, don't go to that show if you don't want to hear certain things. Don't watch a certain TV program if you don't want to see certain content. And you could push that as far as don't follow certain people on social media if you don't agree with their views and don't want to hear them. They're still entitled to them. The difficulty comes when they are so big, so well known that you don't have to be following them to hear their opinions because
that's yeah. I mean, I love what Ricky Gervais says. People, he says something. I'm offended by that. Do I really care that you're offended?
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? You're offended. Woo, brilliant. I'm not. Fuck you. It's that's. But it's whether we've had this discussion before, right? Comedians and going out and pushing the boundaries. But it's like you say, if you're offended, well, walk away. Or if you're offended, maybe you should listen a bit more and, discuss things. Very little offends me, and I think I'm very lucky.
A CEO of a company has not been very positively outspoken about these strikes. I'm not going to say which company, but possibly the most famous mouse in history. I will say no more. A CEO
someone's been taking the mickey, haven't they?
Well, they have, yeah, a little bit. He is quoted, and I won't say this is exact, but I'm going to take, possibly paraphrasing again, that saying that the writers and actors going on strike in Hollywood are not being realistic with their expectations. And he has been quoted as saying, it's very disturbing to me. Now, just to put it in perspective, taking stats from somewhere else, I haven't done this research myself, but these are the stats that seem to be accurate. On average, a Hollywood writer is paid approximately $70,000 a year. I'm not sure what the exchange rate at the moment is. That's probably around about 50 grand, I think, something about that. So $69,000 a year, a writer in Hollywood. The certain CEO of a mouse-related company is paid roughly $74,000 a day.
Jeez.
I don't think we need to say a great deal more at that point.
To quote him, I find that rather disturbing.
yeah, exactly. But
Good
yeah, so
Lord.
I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. And to be honest, I think we could go on for hours and hours about this, but I think we've said our piece. We've said what's important. I think we should move on. But I might leave you with one final thought.
Go for
A
it.
man quite dear to our hearts. He's annoyed us recently for some decisions which he might be making, which we're not necessarily in agreement with, but each to their own. A certain Mr. John Cleese recently tweeted, and I think this is just it's the kind of it couldn't be more John Cleese if it tried, but
He's well known for the pithy comment, isn't he? Let's face it.
So and his tweet I shall read for you now, and it's: I keep reading that film studios are contemplating replacing writers and actors by using artificial intelligence to mimic their talents. Surely it would be easier and more efficient to replace the executives, since they have no talent at all.
They've been shooting over here for, I think they said 12 days. So they were back to the States for the last 3 days filming, which is in Utah. I don't know why.
Very nice.
But yeah. So from Hartlepool to Utah, it's a little bit of a,
It's a bit more than 4.5 hours, that one.
Well, that is a bit of a schlep. Yeah. What I do want to say though is I was filming away in this lovely sort of old stately home, Castle Eden, and walking through into we were filmed in the conservatory. I was walking through the hall to the sort of orangery where we were shooting,
right?
And there in the corner, standing there was a Dalek, a full sized, and it was a real one. It wasn't a reconstruction, because I looked underneath and round the back, and I thought, yeah, that's where the operator was sat. There's all the little wheels underneath and everything. So that has been used somewhere along the line.
Just to clarify, when you say it's a real one, you mean it was actually used in Doctor? Not, they don't exist, mate. I don't want to ruin it. It wasn't a real Dalek.
Now I know that, and you know that, but out there are people out there now going, what? I mean, you might as well say there's no Father Christmas, mate.
This is like when you told everyone that Father Christmas wasn't real. Our ratings dropped like a stone because you'd upset all the kids around the world.
Yeah, I've had a contract put out on me by anyone under 8 years of age.
Yeah. That's why we put the explicit label on. It's not that we swear that much. It's so that people don't come on and have their hearts broken by you ruining the favourite myths of children worldwide.
Yes, smashing the illusion. Yeah, sorry about that. But no, it was a really incongruous little sight to see a Dalek sitting in the corner in this hall. It was very funny.
Wow.
So, of course, I had my photograph taken with it. Of course I did. A couple of selfies.
Yeah.
Got to be done. And overall, you have to say there isn't that much crap made. There is some. But, one man's meat. I mean, if someone said to me, do you want to watch Love Island? I'd stab my eyes out. But someone else loves that program,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I'd hold your head under the water. I mean, just go away, I won't get you out.
Alienating all the really popular shows here. We're not doing
But I'm not alienating them. I hate them. But other people like them. And that's why, it is demand. People are making shows to... I don't think television, our terrestrial television, is making shows, that we're used to. We've made wonderful period dramas and wonderful. They are out there. There's some great TV, great detective TVs, great films, great series. But then you've got all the celebrity shows now. Those are the ones you have to they're the ones that hold the audience. If you didn't have people watching Love Island, would they then watch, I don't know, whatever popular, a detective series is on or whatever? Do you know what I mean? But Netflix and all those channels, they've listened, and I think because they have massive budgets and massive audienceship, I think they are making stuff that really holds their audiences. Every now and again, you get a series and you think everyone's watching that. Doesn't matter, know.
I think characters synonymous with actors or actors synonymous with characters also is very age dependent.
Yes.
in that, when something is massive and an actor is in it, the people of that generation are like, oh my God, he was incredible, she was incredible. Like, did you see them do this? Fast forward 10 years, and that actor does something else amazing. And then that generation go, oh my God, have you seen blah, 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 blah. And the previous generation go, what the fuck are you talking about? You mean this?
Yeah.
And the example, can you remember who we were talking about earlier?
Oh gosh, who was it? Go on, remind me again.
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin, that's it.
So
yes.
we're very lucky. We know we have a diverse listener / viewership, various ages, genders, backgrounds, countries, languages, lots of different things. So we're very grateful for each and every one that's involved. But when I say the name Sean Astin, I think there will be 3 distinct groups. There could be 4, 3. No, so 4. The 4th group of people that find him symbolic for a particular character. So Sean Astin was in Big Bang Theory, which was obviously a hugely successful series. And he was in, I think, 6 or 7 episodes maybe. He played a scientist.
Yeah,
he stumbled across a solution or a certain theory, basically. But anyway, so he was in that briefly. Opposite, I think it was... Is it Cal Penn? I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry if I've got that wrong. But he was fabulous.
Yeah.
Either way, they were fabulous. So there will be certain people that see Sean Astin and go, oh my God, he was in Big Bang Theory. But I think more than that certainly would be perhaps a younger generation or a more modern generation are going to go, oh my God, that's Bob from Stranger Things. Which, absolutely, he was brilliant in season 2? Season 1?
2, I think it was.
I think it might be 2,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Either way,
Anyway,
he was unbelievable in Stranger Things. He was really good. Played one of the most amazing characters. He was fabulous. But by people going, oh my God, that's the guy from Stranger Things. He was Bob from Stranger Things. They will enormously offend those who go, how dare you? Because he was...
Sam Gamgee in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That's my pickup from it.
Samwise Gamgee. He was absolutely brilliant.
Stunning.
He was perfect as Samwise Gamgee. But you're going to have the purists. And actually, we're missing various other films. He's done wonderful things. But I'm going to be in the purist group because I'm going to go, how dare you? How dare you? Sean Astin
Was in...
The Goonies. Yeah, just and it's the perfect example, I think, of a fabulous actor, a wonderful actor whose career has spanned many generations. He's superb, but he has these perhaps gems in his timeline of being a performer or particular standout moments that. And I like all 4 of those mentioned. I think he was brilliant in all of them. But for me, I'll always remember him as Mikey in The Goonies. That's where he started for me. That's
It's
what makes
interesting
sense.
though, isn't it? I mean, because he's managed to hit good landmark performances, and films, TV, parts of his, as he's matured, he's gone, I'll do that now.
Yeah.
And he left Sam and he did Stranger Things, he left The Goonies. So he's managed to, he's very adaptable and he's not frightened to go, well, I can't do that anymore, so I'll do that,
No.
And for Sean Astin to step down, if you like, to Big Bang Theory and play something small for a couple of episodes, but then people will go, hang on a minute, Big Bang is enormous.
Exactly, yeah. You can't look at it that way, can you? So,
No.
But yeah.
So he took on a small role in a huge television series.
Yeah.
And
But still very memorable. I think
Absolutely.
that's the other...
But I mean, you can imagine if you were casting Big Bang Theory and say, oh, we've got a couple of guest actors on this. Who you got? Sean Astin. It's like, what? You managed to get Sean Astin?
But I think that's something that American sitcoms in particular do so well. I mean, you only have to look at Friends. Like Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, I'm trying
Tom
to...
Selleck.
Robin Williams.
Yes.
Who was in Meet the Fockers? And what is it? Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller was he in a couple of episodes? One episode, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But some massive stars. And the same in Big Bang, and the same in How I Met Your Mother. And they brought these people in, and they want to be part of it, and they want to feature in these things because they know how successful and how loved these things are.
it's hard to sort of word it because without sounding like we're going, oh, my life is so hard, I'm not allowed to go on holiday, because it's not what we mean at all. But it is something to take into account. I mean, I remember reading an article about a footballer, and I won't say his name, but I think he's Dutch, and anyone who is a fairly substantial football fan will know if I say he's just a character. I don't think he's playing anymore. If he is, it's in much lower leagues. But he was definitely a character. And he was quoted as saying something along the lines of, well, footballers' wages are justified as being so big because I'm not allowed to go skiing. And you're like, well, what? Like, and his point was, because of his job, he cannot risk getting injured. So it's written into his contract he can't do certain dangerous things. And that's probably written into a lot of high-end actors' contracts, that they can't do certain things because if they're in the middle of filming something substantial, and it would hold it up and it would cost a large amount of money. I'm not sure I can agree with him that it justifies X £100,000 a week because you're not allowed to go skiing. I think that probably takes the edge off it a little bit. But it is slightly related, and you can, like, should I be able to complain that I can't go on holiday or I can't do certain things because my job won't allow it, when actually I'm very lucky to be in the job I am? Well, yes and no. There's a fine line, isn't there?
Most of all, mate, wherever you're sitting, whatever you've got behind you, I've enjoyed chatting with me, mate. It's been a lovely way of spending a few weeks.
Bless you, mate. Is it tea in your mug, or have you been on the sauce again? Because that's rather nice from you.
No, it's me Drewling Samantics cup of tea, mate, and I mean that. It's been a lovely way.
And can I please say that obviously the feeling is absolutely mutual. I adore chatting to you and being able to voice our thoughts, our concerns, our passions, our ideas. And to all those wonderful people out there who do join us, whether it's the minute the episode comes out, whether it's weeks afterwards, whatever, whether you're listening to this in 10 years' time, if we're still around by then, I mean, it is an absolute joy to know that people want to listen, want to watch, and keep coming back. And please do keep coming back. There is so much more to come.
How very sentimental and touching that ending was. Enough to make you vomit. Sorry, I am only joking. No, we genuinely meant all those nice things, both about each other and, of course, about our wonderful listeners and viewers too.
Absolutely. It's all 100% true, buddy. And as we wrap things up here, I feel I need to say a couple of things. Firstly, I want to make my apologies to the certain footballer that I mentioned in one of the final clips. I said he was Dutch when I meant Danish. Not that it matters really, because I don't imagine he's listening to us right now.
Well, I doubt it, mate. He's retired. He's probably gone out skiing instead.
Now he can. Oh, you're probably not wrong there, mate. But the thing I want to say that's far more important, well, I just want to specifically reiterate the last thing I said, that there is so much more to come. So please do join us for season 9.
Yep, you're right, Sam. More guests, more news, more stories, more discussion, and, of course, a lot more banter.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait, Drew. This season's been phenomenal for so many reasons, but I reckon we can top it.
Well, there's only one way to find out, Sam. How about we take a short break and then come back all guns blazing with a brand new season?
You're on, mate. Let's do it.
Ladies and gents, thank you again for all your support over the past season, and all the others before that, and we will see you very soon for season 9.
What he said. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed this special highlights episode of Drewling Samantics.
If you have, then make sure you go and watch all our previous episodes in full for even more fun and interesting content. Please consider subscribing to our channel too, and you'll get notified every time a new video is released.
Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app. And we'd love your support on social media as well. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and all our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so please share with your family and friends, and we'll be eternally grateful. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.